Ahava blessings. Welcome to this episode of Embodying the Shekhinah. This podcast is here to support us and guide us during these times of accelerating energy in order to remember, integrate, embody our soul essence, in order to remember. My name is Aurea. I am an ordained Magdalene priestess, Reiki master, energy and sound alchemist. And happy new moon. This is the new moon. This is the episode for the new moon in Scorpio. However, this new moon in Scorpio marks the beginning of the lunar cycle of Kislev. It is the lunar cycle of Sagittarius. It is associated with miracles and blessings and expansion. And as I'm sure you're feeling, this moon also carries quite a punch because there's a stellium, there's a whole bunch of energy, which means there's a whole bunch of concentrated planetary energy in the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio is a deeply transformative sign. It is a sign that has to do with power. It has to do with the unconscious, with the depths of our emotions, with our intuition. It has to do with our ability to wield our own power. It has to do with our ability to alchemize, to transform any dense energy into light. The shadow of Scorpio is control, it is manipulation, it is the energy that seeks to subjugate and sees nefarious plots and secrets going on everywhere. Granted, a lot of secrets and a lot of stuff will be revealed, and they are being revealed at this time. However, if we focus on everything that has been hidden, what happens is we tend to get jaded, we get discouraged, and we feed the negativity. Now is not the time to be feeding negativity. Now is the time to be aligning with your heart. Now is the time to be welcoming the transformation, the alchemical changes that are being brought to the forefront. We are being tasked. There's a water grand trine. So how would I explain a grand trine? So a grand trine is a confluence of energy that is harmonious, that is ease, that is flow, and it is happening in the signs of water. Water is associated with wisdom. Water is intuition. Water is our emotional selves. Water is cleansing. Water is purification. Water is life. It is life force, the Haye. We are being blessed by this grand trine. However, we're also being forced to confront the deep, dark parts of ourselves that we want to hide. Scorpio rules the 8th house, which represents money, sex. It represents the collective karma. So there's a lot that is happening when it comes to, and I also will ask you to look to where Jupiter is and where you have a lot of Pisces energy, because wherever your Jupiter and natal Pisces and your 12th house and your 4th house, so the house that has to do with family, because Jupiter is in Cancer, and the house that has to do with the subconscious, the psyche, the deep, dark, intuitive recesses of ourselves, that's the 12th house. All of our hidden gifts, all of our past lives, all of that is being activated at this time. And we have the ability to heal on a quantum level. And it's interesting that word came through just now, because I was thinking like profound. Nope, it's a quantum shift. We have the ability to have and to take a quantum leap forward in our consciousness, in our awakening. However, what do we have to be willing to do, to let go of, to see? That those places within us where we carry fear, where we carry trauma, where we carry an unresolved belief system, a pattern of thinking, of being, of doing, of behaving that is not in alignment with this new energy that is coming in. The new energies that are coming in are ones of union. They are ones of deep responsibility. Because in order for us to step into our power and sovereignty, we must do the inner work to be able to wield that power in a way that is not only beneficial to us, to the ego, to the lesser self, but is in alignment with creation. A lot of our society has gone the way of incredible materialism and individuality, individualistic thinking. It is all about me. And then there's the woke nonsense, which is, let me pretend to be the savior for someone else, as opposed to allowing people to step into their own power. There's a huge difference between someone who is carrying a savior complex through martyrdom, through diminishing themselves, and someone who is empowering others through doing their own inner work and dealing with their own shit. Because every single one of us has a whole bucket of stuff that we need to deal with. And Scorpio can take us into the shadow and allow us to use those same wounds to subjugate, to control, to feel better than others because we're saving them, quote unquote. Or we can use that power to call ourselves on our own bullshit and to change the way that we handle ourselves. And instead of empowering someone to get something out of them, we empower them so they can see their own greatness without inserting ourselves into the process, without feeding our own ego self, the lesser self, and, virtue signaling all across like, oh, look what I did. No, it's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about any one of us on an individual level. It is about what we are here to do as a collective to elevate humanity, to elevate the consciousness of humanity that we are all a part of. It is, what are we here to do? Is it in alignment with the divine forces of creation, God, Goddess? Because the thing is, there are many belief systems out there, and some of them align with death. Others align with life and creation. Others align with control and manipulation. There are many, many, many belief systems, and all of them may have some positive, all of them may be rooted in some level of truth. However, we must look to the expression, the external expression of those beliefs, because the external expression of how someone lives and embodies those belief systems is how we can tell if something is positive or negative. Feel into your own intuition. Intuition is being heightened. Your vision, your ability to see is being heightened. However, like they say, there's a saying in Spanish, in Castellano, that goes like this: No hay peor ciego que el que no quiere ver. There is no worse blind person than the one who does not want to see. And that is the truth. If you are married and bound and just completely head in, doesn't matter what objective reality has to say in your belief system, ooh, honey, you're going to have a hard time at ascension. Because ascension is, in many ways, a constant process of dissolving those parts of you that you think are you. Those identity structures, those programs, those limiting beliefs, those familial patterns. It is looking squarely at what is in front of you and being like, okay, that's not what I want to align with. I get that served me in the past and I'm grateful. However, at this point in time in my life, we're not entertaining that mess anymore. And it's okay. It's okay to stop and be like, nope, we're not doing this anymore. And I think that's where people get tripped up. People get tripped up because they think that, okay, well, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I'm this ethnicity, I'm Black, I'm whatever. I have to believe what is in quotes unquote acceptable for that ideology. And that's not, first of all, that's not even being a human being, because it's got nothing to do with authenticity. It's got nothing to do with alignment. It's got nothing to do with your soul, and it's got nothing to do with truth and creation. It's got nothing to do with any of those things, because all of those are constructs that we have made up here on the earth plane. So there's a lot of truth. There's a lot of authenticity that is coming through. This moon is happening at 28 degrees. That is the number 10. It is oneness. It is union. It contains all of the frequencies that came before it. And we have the sun, the moon on this new moon, and Mercury in conjunction. And Mercury is in reggaeton, like I like to say it. Mercury is in retrograde. So there's there's several planets. We got Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. This is a grounded expansion. This is what that energy is. We need to look to everything that it has to do with Cancer, with the fourth house, with lineage, with family, and truly reassess, revisit, re-envision, retool whatever is not working. And it's very interesting that this is happening as in the US, we're going into Thanksgiving and all the holidays with the family. And I know that can be quite triggering for many of us we're kind of like the cosmic rainbow sheep of the family, and we think and we experience the world very, very differently than the rest of our brethren. But just because we experience and live in a different reality does not mean that we lower our frequency when we go into these spaces where there may be toxicity, there may be drama, there may be whatever that comes up. Doesn't matter. The key is to come into those spaces with love, with the desire and the intention to create union. This whole canceling and stopping talking to your family or whatever because they voted differently than you, that is so high school that I just shake my head. That is absolute bollocks. You don't cut people off because they think differently than you. Just because they think differently than you does not mean that a person is evil. Like, evil has to do with someone's actions, not with someone's belief systems. If someone's belief system leads them to act in ways that are evil, that's a different story. However, that is their path. And it's not up to any one of us to judge or to shame. We can distance, we can call a spade and do what needs to be done. However, to go and be thinking that somehow you're better than someone because you don't believe the way they do, darling, that's ego. And ego leads to separation. Ego leads to more of this dualistic bullshit that we deal with in this duality. And this is what we are transcending. We are transcending this false narrative that everything is either black or white. Either you believe as I do and you behave as I do, or you're a heathen and you deserve to be off with your head. No, that's not being a human being. That is not aligning with creation. It's not even in alignment with people's soul. Like, I just think, I'm like, how? No, because it can't be. Because your soul wishes expansion. It wishes growth. It aims for, it yearns for, it longs for union with the divine. It longs to bring harmony and ease and love and beauty and grace into the experience of humanity, into your personal experience. This is what your soul craves. Your soul craves beauty, expansion, transformation, growth. That's what your soul craves. Your soul doesn't care about the labels or how much money is in the bank. I mean, we need resources. Let's not get deluded into thinking that money is evil. No. How some people employ money may be considered evil. However, the frequency of abundance and money is not evil. We, in this world that we chose to play in, need resources in order to experience the life that we wish to experience, the safety, the comfort, whatever. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. The way that we are thinking, Sagittarius, Mercury is retrograde in Sagittarius and Scorpio. Secrets are being unveiled. Your desire for expansion, because Sagittarius energy, which is this lunar cycle we're going into, is about freedom, liberation, expansion, wisdom seeking, truth seeking, authenticity. If you know a Sagittarius, you know they don't give any F's about anyone's opinion. They're going to do what they're going to do because that's what they want to do. There is no, if a Sagittarius thinks that they're right, there is no talking to a Sagittarius. Because they really have convinced themselves that they are 100% right. And that, my dears, is the shadow of Sagittarius. The authoritarianism that comes with always thinking you are right. Welcome into your life the you-know-nothing Jon Snow. You know nothing. Approach every part of your experience as a humanity, as a being, from that place of innocent, childlike wonder of not knowing what is coming forth, and being in that excitement for what is being unveiled in front of you. We have oppositions between the Sun, Moon, and Mercury and Uranus retrograde in Taurus. Great awakening. We have an opposition between Jupiter retrograde in Cancer and Pluto. So we have Chiron retrograde, Neptune retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Uranus retrograde, Jupiter, Mercury. We got a whole mess of energy that is asking us to slow down. Just slow. Just take it easy. Cógelo con take it easy. Please take it easy. Like it's not that urgent. And I'm saying this for myself as well. Just breathe. Just breathe and take it one day at a time. Because for me, I have a tendency to want things yesterday. I'm very, very impatient. However, I must, and this is what I am remembering, I have to trust. I have to trust and have faith in the process and not rush the situation. We all want to rush. We must have faith and trust. Surrender. Surrender all of your expectations. Gimel is the sign that created Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet that rules Sagittarius. And Gimel is about giving without expectation. That is the teaching of the Gimel, the Aramaic Hebrew creation frequency that rules Tuesday. So it's a very powerful energy to work with because it's about giving selflessly without the expectation, which is difficult for us human beings because we always want something. If we're doing a practice, we want to know what it does and what benefit we're going to get out of it. It's actually one of the biggest problems I had with Buddhism. It was the primary focus of it was like, oh, well, you have to chant for, more money or better job. And it never left space for the feminine energy of just being. Just be. Just allow. Just surrender to the process. You keep doing the work, obviously. Keep taking the steps and taking the actions. But you have to make space to receive. Gimel is giving and receiving. Gimel it teaches us to open ourselves up to the knowing that when we give, we receive infinitely, that there is no separation between the giving and the receiving. Samech is the frequency that created Sagittarius, and the shape is pretty circular, and it is about expansion and cycles and endings and new beginnings and rebirths, which is perfect because we're in the new moon and we're in that rebirth. This Scorpio energy is the energy of the phoenix. It is the energy of the phoenix rising from its own ashes. This is what we are doing. We are rebirthing ourselves into this expansion, into this new level of consciousness. However, we have to be willing to want to see what we need to do and what we need to shift in order for us to make this transition. And this transition is a leap of faith. It is absolutely a leap of faith, because we won't know what the outcome looks like until way, way, way into the future. This is the month of trusting, and not from a fatalistic standpoint, because all is divinely orchestrated and harmoniously ordered. However, all that is harmoniously orchestrated and divinely ordered also has to do with our own personal actions, because we can choose a different course of action. We can align with a different frequency. We can see many, many people in this world aligning with the frequency of destruction and chaos. Absolutely. And that may or may not be the best way to be, because there are ways to create the new without falling into chaos, without falling into unstructured disorder and absolute mayhem. There's a way. So Samech is support and protection, and it represents the eternal cycle of life. I want you to envision yourself divinely protected. That is very important at this time, because the energies are intense and it can feel very lonely. It can feel very isolating. It can feel like it's just us. Everything else is going to hell in a handbasket, and we're the ones holding it together. You must have faith that you are divinely protected. The Samech is the cyclical nature of life. It reminds us of the cycles of the womb, the eternal nature of divine love, and reminds us that we are always held in the Creator's embrace. Faith. And this is a little quote that I really want to share. Faith is the bridge between the seen and the unseen. Walk it with trust, and the light will guide your way. I'm going to say that again. I definitely need that again. Faith is the bridge between the seen and the unseen. Walk it with trust, and the light will guide your way. There is an Aramaic Hebrew, I think it's Aramaic. It's an Aramaic mantra that I have been saying. I used to say it daily, but then I kind of started doing other mantras. And then a few days ago, I started coming back to this one. Actually, there's two of them, Hineni and Heymenuta. Heymenuta is the one that is trust. Heymenuta is I trust in the divine, and the divine trusts in me. So when you put your faith in the divine, The divine is in turn having faith with you. And Hineni means surrender. And it's that beautiful surrender of trusting, having faith in the divine, in the fact that you are divinely protected and all is working out exactly as it needs to be. Everything is unfolding as it should be. There is no right, there is no wrong. Everything is as it should be. And if we all walk through life, meeting every encounter as a lesson and as, oh, this is what's happening, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. Whether we're triggered at AF, doesn't matter. Whether it's a blessing, it doesn't matter what it is. Just like, oh, okay, sounds good. And meeting it with grace and with a smile and with gratitude. I mean, think if you're gifted, if someone decides to walk in and gift you $100,000 because they're absolutely grateful, they used to live in the house that you live in now, they just come in, they're like, I really have great memories of this place. And, you guys are the family that live here now. So I really want to contribute to this home that you're in. How idiotic would it be to be like questioning, looking the gift horse in the mouth? It'd be kind of foolish, wouldn't it? I understand that there are some privacy things, we do have to kind of vet people. I get that. But to basically be questioning someone's good intentions, it's almost as if you're telling the universe and you're telling God, Goddess, nah, I don't need your blessings. I got this. I think God is probably looking at that person like, excuse me? Do you know who I am? I'm the creator of all of this. You are a part of me. If I am deciding to gift you something, why are you looking at it sideways? It's disrespectful and it's quite egoic to look at a situation and be like, no thanks. I don't want the blessing. Like, okay. See, but this is exactly how the universe works. If the universe gifts you something, good, bad, or indifferent, and you look at it sideways and you start inspecting the mouth of the horse, the universe is going to be less apt to want to give you more blessings because you don't welcome them. And blessings are also challenges. By blessing, I also mean challenge. And I'm going to say that again. By blessing, I also mean challenges. Your challenges, everything that you have been through, is a blessing. And most of us don't want to recognize that, but it is. It's a blessing. We must remember and have confidence, faith, and trust. And confidence isn't loud. I do want to say this. Sagittarius can be a bit much and a bit all, in your face. Confidence isn't loud. Confidence just is. If you have faith and you walk through the world feeling like you are divinely protected, because you are divinely protected, you carry yourself differently than someone who is living in fear. You carry yourself differently than someone who is anxious and living in the ego and constantly thinking something is out to get them. You carry yourself differently in safety and expansion. And this is the energy that is coming in with this grand water trine. We are safe. We are expansive. We are grounded in our expansion. And it is a choice that we must step into. It is a choice to have faith. It is a choice to surrender. And by surrender, I mean you're surrendering your own expectations. You're surrendering your own nonsense. And you're allowing the divine to guide you. You're allowing your soul to lead you. Explore what it would feel like to feel safe in your body, to expand in safety and love, to live your mission, your soul's purpose, not in fear or need, egoic desire, comparing yourself to others, but you live your mission from a place of love and trust, from faith that is taking aligned action, faith that action that clears the blocks of the ego that the ego and the mind have created. This is the opportunity we have during this moon. Don't worry so much. Don't worry so much about what has been. Don't worry so much. Just be in the now, be present. Liberate yourself of the limitations and embrace your expansive nature, your oneness. I mentioned this again, and I will say it again. Jupiter in Cancer is grounded expansion. Protection doesn't mean that we are closed off. It means that we trust and have faith that the divine has our back, our front, our flanks. And as I was channeling this and feeling into this energy, the Essene prayer, B'Shem Adonai, came to mind. And the B'Shem Adonai, you call in the archangels, and you have Michael on the right, Raphael on the left, Uriel behind you, Uriel in front of you, Raphael in front of you, Uriel behind you, Gabriel at your left. And you have Shekhinah above you, and Yeshua and Mariam in your heart. And it's a really beautiful Essene prayer that every Shabbat we chant and we drum to. And every time that I feel I need that reminder and I need to call in divine protection, even though I know they're always there, but it's always good to reinforce that energy, simply because our humanness needs the act of ritual in order to feel, okay, this is good. That's the only reason. Your humanness, my humanness needs those, prayers, those chants, those drumming, whatever it is, the meditation, to feel, okay, I'm in alignment. Because if not, because that's the thing. That's the thing about being human. You're in physicality. This is the world we chose to play in. And there are certain things that as a human, being in such a dense frequency, we forget because we're not always in oneness. So the act of ritual, the act of chanting, the act of prayer, of meditation, of movement meditations, of drumming, of playing the bowls in a sanctified fashion, all of that brings you back to the heart and brings you back to your alignment. And let's see. Embrace the purification. Embrace this purification process because it's very potent, it's very powerful, and it's what we need at this time. Allow yourself to see, allow yourself to transform, welcome the change, even though it's challenging and it's hard and we don't know who we're going to be on the other side. I get it. Still, welcome it. Because your soul, the divine, has faith in you. It's our turn to have faith in the divine. This moon is very potent. It has many, many mystical and deeply alchemical, potent energy to it. Go into it. Don't allow yourself to waste this energy. And with that, I welcome you to go into the sound activation for this Kislev new moon in Scorpio. And I will see you in the next episodes. If you enjoy this, like, share, subscribe. And I know I spoke about the Gimel, which is related to Tuesday. If you want to join the Wheel of Fire, the link is below. As well as the replay for the 11/11. I do think that the work that we did is very powerful. The practices, the meditations. So I do want to share that as a replay for us to align to the frequencies of creation, of the Pleiadean creation codes that we worked with on 11/11 anytime that we need to, because I really think it's important work for us to be doing as a collective, regardless of what time of year it is. So I welcome you. That is also linked below. Welcome you to join in if you feel called to that. And I will see you in the next episode. Have a blessed, blessed day. Don't forget to follow me on social media. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. My website is also below, sophianicreation.com. Have a blessed day. Ahava.